Hello there, it's Angry Welshman, and as far as I'm concerned, as if it wasn't already to be honest, Flat Earth completely debunked. Flat Earth is an afterthought to me, and it's one of these things where it's becoming less and less interesting as the years go by. And Adam, Level Earth Observer, just going to say this now, please stop making videos, because all of your videos are essentially the same. It's I don't find this logical, it doesn't make sense to me, so therefore it's wrong. And you're not even interested in learning. And when somebody does provide you with something to help in your journey towards learning, you shoot it down immediately because of your extreme arrogance and ignorance. But this video is not about you. Well, it kind of is, because it's about Flat Earth in general and morons such as yourself. So, it all starts, if you watched the short earlier, to show. Now, in the short, I was on the ground floor. This picture was taken from the first floor. So, you know, and the camera was about another 10 feet higher. But as you can, and this photograph was done by my lovely fiancée on the June the 3rd at 10 o'clock at night. Or just past 10. Right? I don't have a specific timestamp for it, but that's when we took the photo. Now, as you can pretty much see, this is directly, near as makes no difference, direct line of sight. Right? It's direct line of sight. And it is directly, pretty much above that tower. Okay? And this tower belongs to the Dyfed-Powys police station. And this tower, make a rough estimate. Honestly, I tried to find schematics or blueprints of this thing to figure out how high it is, but I can possibly suggest that this thing's about 200 feet tall. So let's just go to feet to meters. 200 feet tall. It's about 60 meters tall. Okay, it's about 60 meters tall. Could be more, could be less, but it's just a round figure. 60 meters tall. Okay, and as I can see, this thing, I'm not going to give you the exact location of the house, but I live roughly on this street, and the Dyfed-Powys police station, you can even see it quite nicely there, which is really cool. The tower is about 1.06 miles away, so near as makes no difference, a mile away, and it is pretty much direct line of sight. If you looked out my window now, my house is pretty much at the same level, if not probably a little bit higher. Okay, now at 10 o'clock at night, just to basically start to make things really interesting, the moon was down here, literally over South Africa. Okay, South Africa. And if you take the line all the way from where I am, in Carmarthen, all the way down, you can see that the moon is directly above a location that's nearly 6,000 miles away. 6,000. So, by flat earth logic, directly below this is something that's 6,000 miles away, even though it just looks like it's right above those distant hills, but it's 6,000 miles away. Right? Now, there's more to this, to which I'll get in a moment. Right? We said now that tower is about 60 meters tall. So if we go to the topography map, you will find, right, let me get back to my moment. I should have had this all set up before. I am deeply sorry. Where I am, right, is about 57 meters above sea level. Right, 57 meters above sea level. The the police station tower, the lander on there, is about 50 meters. So we're about 7 meters higher. But like I said before, the tower is about 60 meters, so I could say that that's about 110 meters tall. Like I said, that's about near as line of sight can be. From that distance, you're not really going to notice. Your eyes don't really venture high or low at that point, right? Now, that's about, let's say the top of that tower is about 110 meters, give or take, okay? And that moon is directly above, so let's say, by rule of thumb, that moon would be about 150, 160 meters, let's just say, something like that, 160 meters. But here's where stuff starts getting interesting. You start going to here, right? 160 meters, that's about 90 meters, to which that points quite nicely to the hills in the background, okay, which is lower than the tower. Okay, so these mountains up here, they're about 140 meters, but that's over the brow, quite far away. You don't really see those, right? They're quite a distance away, and thanks to Earth curvature, that's probably why you can't see them, right? 140 meters. Now, what did I say before? Okay, that moon is line of sight, okay, and let's just say is about 190 meters. I'm changing the numbers here. I'm just literally eyeballing it as time goes on. Let's stick to my original thing of, let's say, 160 meters. If this tower was taller, it would have worked so much better if it was at the exact height, but you can't have everything perfect. And here's where it starts getting interesting. That's 240 meters. Why isn't that? And remember, right? Remember, the moon's down here. Right? The moon's down here. That little mountain range is in front of it. Why isn't it being hidden? But it gets better. Right? It gets a lot better. Right? This little mountain range, or hills, raised high, that's 391 meters. Now, even with my eyeballing, right, that would be significantly higher in this view than the height of the moon. Why isn't it being covered? Right? Now remember, it's down here. So you just follow down, follow down, follow down. Right? Go to this area. That's 986 meters. This area. Let's just go from left to right. 986, 1,200. Let's go over to this side. 719 meters. But let's go a little bit more. Oh, I just absolutely ruined it like an idiot. Right. So this passes through, let's say, very close to Andorra. Right? Andorra. And there's Barcelona. Barcelona, and there's Andorra. Right? Andorra is 2,500 meters above sea level. Right? And that is a quite vast stretch. 2,500, 1,500. This is obviously, if I wanted to be more precise, because obviously the chart here shows that's nearly 3,000. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Now, this would be blocking my view of this moon at this point. But it's not. I wonder why. Right? Again, we go down, follow down these peaks. It's 1,000 feet. So even then, these would be blocking, right? They go over, the line of sight essentially goes over Palma. Right, let's have a look at some of the parts of Palma. The front edge bit. That's 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters. Now remember, the height of this thing, even with the height of the land around it, would only be about 160 to 170 meters. With the moon, I mean. This is probably about 110 meters. But you're talking about 3 meters. That would be way above the height of the screen. Right? Let's find some more sort of interesting places. Right? I'm not saying that word. Tasali Asia National Park. Right? Hopefully I can find this on the Tamaranset. Right, so that goes up here, so let's find it. So even this particular land area is 441 meters, but then we get interesting now. Tamaranset, that's 2,000 meters, 1.6, 1.8, and then we get down to the tasty parts of this, where you get down to like Cameroon and so on and so forth. And the Congo. So at this point now, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere now. Oof, that's 6,000 miles. This is probably about 5,000 miles or so. Well, just past 6,000 kilometer mark. So, as you can see, now we're getting some really hilly terrain. So this is all of the area. So, roughly where the moon would be. You're talking about, we got basically land ranges that are 3,053 meters above sea level. 1,268 meters above sea level. 1,500. 1,153 and 1,165. But like I said, everything in between this. So basically, you're telling me, flat earthers, that underneath this, right, is right, and you've got to use this logically now, as you always say. Underneath this view is all of Africa, right? France, parts of Spain. Directly below this viewpoint, and such, entire mountain ranges that should be in the way of my line of sight here. That is flat Earth completely debunked. And I leave you to all have a lovely day, and hopefully I'll have another video out for you soon on any sort of topic. Please please comment and subscribe, and leave a like down below, and comment on what video I should do something on next. There we are. Have a lovely evening. Good night.